Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. I'm Karen Chaston, and as always, it is amazing to have you here. It is Monday the 21st of June, so it is in Australia the shortest day of the year, which is always a great time, especially when it's been cold, to sort of start to think that, well, the days are going to get longer for over the next 6 months. And of course, we're going to be heading more towards spring and summer, which is always an amazing time, no matter where you are in the world. So today I'm going to talk about things that are different. So welcome to everyone. I'll just bring my comments up. Hello, Christine, and hello, Rainier. Great to see you. Christine, how are you enjoying Revitalize Your Life? I'd love to hear. It's now, you'll be obviously receiving day 8 today. Have you been doing it? Have you been deep diving into all of the different things that are in the program? Love to hear. And today I'm going to talk about something very, very briefly. It's not a discussion on whether or not you are going to vaccinate or not. It doesn't really matter what you choose to do, as long as you deep dive into you and choose what is right for you. But this morning I was on a call with Wendy, with the person who taught me how to meditate, how to do a Vedic meditation, which I do love doing. And I have sort of left the practice lapse a little bit. I haven't been as faithful with it as what I would like to. And I know that when I do it twice a day for 20 minutes, a magic always happens in my life. So I'm in the process of getting back into that practice. And we had a group meditation at 7 a.m. this morning. And during the process, he actually said, oh, good, I'm glad you're loving the course, Christine. Reach out anytime. You've got my email address. Obviously, I'm emailing you every day. And let me know how you're going. But anyway, so what he actually said, and he has a spiritual advisor who is a Native American. And as we all know, any of the indigenous people all over the world are so connected spiritually to the earth, to the universe, and, and beyond. So I love hearing their wisdom. And what they said, if you choose to have the vaccination, and it's entirely your choice, no one else. As they put the needle into your arm, start to visualize your body turning into a very, very colorful bird, a parrot or something like that. And then your body will actually embrace all of the good from the vaccination. Now, some people have no choice. Some people, depending on what your career is, you may have to have the vaccination. And of course, who knows down the track if you want to travel. So that was a beautiful little advice, which I thought was amazing, especially when you start to visualize yourself turning into this parrot, say, or this beautiful eagle or someone like that, as the serum comes into your body, and then of course you taking off and flying with it, knowing that all good is going to happen to you. And the beautiful thing is that all of the people, say the essential workers and stuff like that in America, who use that practice, none of them have had any side effects from it. So that's my little advice for today. It's not a discussion about whether you should or shouldn't do it. That's entirely up to you, and I'm going to honor and respect you. And I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on that matter. So today, as always, we love to talk about helping people to be able to move beyond loss. And there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. And it's really interesting when you know and understand that loss is really just change. A loss event will happen, and then moving forward, you are going to be different to who you were before the loss event happens. And so often we get stuck in the oh my God, why has this happened? I cannot live without these people, or or is it just say if it's a divorce? My whole life is different. It's not how I planned it. It's never going to be good as what it was before, all those sort of things. So today I want to sort of touch on the way we talk, the way we think, the things that we say to ourselves, and start to really take notice of the things that you actually say to yourself. Because what we believe, we receive. So if we're saying something, we obviously believe it. If we're thinking something, we believe it. And it's about us realizing that it's really good. Loss is everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Like, loss is change. So it is everywhere, Rainier. And it's really important that loss is actually an amazing guide for us. I like to look at loss. Obviously, I've had a lot of loss events in my life, and as we all have. I'm not going to say that someone gets more losses than anyone else. It's really important for us to understand that with over 40 different loss events, we're all going to have multiple ones. And some may be perceived to be more tragic than others, but it's just a perception. We don't, unless we're the ones that are physically, emotionally, mentally experiencing this loss event, it's not for us to say whether it's more tragic than someone else's or whatever. And also, there's no hierarchy in loss. Now, this took me a really long time for me to understand. And it's really important to understand that a death of a loved one doesn't trump a divorce, or it doesn't trump a loss of a pet. It's not for us to say that our loss event is more important than someone else's loss event. And when we start to understand that, it's really a lot easier for us to be there for others. And when I say be there for others, it is about us understanding that it's not about us saying things like, oh, just give it time, everything will be all right, or just keep busy and all will be okay. No, it's not. To be there for others is to ask them quite simply, how can I be here for you now? And with no intention of how to respond to whatever they say, it's just to be there and to listen to them. Because a lot of the times, that's all people require, is for us to just listen to them. They just want to talk. They want to be able to get their thoughts out of their head and into the universe, because that's when things can happen once they have been spoken. Which is part of the process that I take people through beyond loss. I'm just going to read the notes that Michael has written. Hi, Wendy. I don't think I said hello to you. Michael, hello, good day. How are you doing? Blessings to you and your family. Amen. With lights around you, protection, health, abundance, prosperity, love in your life. MSD. Michael, thank you, Michael. That's very beautiful. And thank you for writing that. So let's continue on. So it's about knowing what you say to yourself. Now, so often when I'm talking to people, a lot of the things that they say are things like, I'll never get over this love. I'll never have another love like this again. My life is over. Now, let's look at that, right? Just say, for example, that it was a divorce. Okay. And you truly loved your partner and you didn't want it to end, and it wasn't your choice. And now your lifestyle is different to what it was before. You maybe a single mother now, or a single father, and now you're just sort of, this isn't what you'd signed up for. And you're angry and you're hurt, and you've decided that was the love of your life and you'll never get over it. Saying and believing things like that means that you're setting yourself up for those things to happen. Whereas if you sat back and you were open and honest about the relationship, and let's always remember there's two people in a relationship, and there's two people that make it and there's two people that break it. So if you start to deep dive into the relationship in a proper removing a lot of the emotions. And I'm sure I understand you may not be able to do this initially, but the sooner you do it, the sooner you do the deep dive into it, you will find all of the gems. And that's why I say that my program is called The Gift of Loss, because there are always many, many gems. And sure, you may have to like literally dig really, really deep to find those gems. And let's face it, in the world, most of the gems there's a little bit of effort to get them. It's not as though they're all lying on the surface for you to walk past and pick them up and go off and use them. No, it requires a bit of work. And it requires a little bit of you being honest with yourself. Actually, it requires a lot of you being honest with yourself. So when we start to do this deep dive into ourselves and into the relationship, we will come up with 3 categories: things that we want to apologize for, things that we want to forgive, and things that we want to acknowledge. Okay. So when we come up with those 3 things, we can be open and honest with ourselves. And we can also then come up with another list of things that we would like to change in our next relationship, and things that we want to stop doing, things that we'd like to start doing, and things that we would like to continue doing. Because it's without that deep dive, we are going to be exactly the same person in our next relationship. And sure, if you've decided not to have another relationship of that sort, that's okay as well. But are you depriving yourself? Because let's face it, you are the only person that you are going to spend your entire life with. So don't you want to ensure that the rest of your life, which starts today, can be the best version of the past relationships that you've had? And that's what I'd like to sort of deep dive into today. Because let's face it, your relationships, especially with yourself, are really important in your life. At the end of the day, what else do you take with you? Apart from a lot of learnings and a lot of growth, you're not going to take your job with you. Sure, you can have great relationships in your job, and you can certainly have, you spend a lot of time there. But sometimes we get stuck in the fact of who we are is our job or our bank account balance or something like that. But that's not who we are. We are so much more than that. And that's what I love to help people to realize, to give them a perspective that may be a little different to what they've had before. Any questions? Because I've been talking now for like nonstop for about 15 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions, or if there's any question you'd like me to answer, because that's more or less what I do here. So while you're typing that, I'll just take a quick drink, and then I'll read you the card that I always, before I come on, I always grab a card from Marcia Quinton's beautiful cards that, let me make sure the light's on it. Channeled Spiritual Guidance cards by Marcia Quinton, which are totally amazing. So let me take my drink. Okay. So the card that I picked today, which I think is really relevant to why I am talking about, and it always happens, it's just so guided, aren't we? Especially the more we look at it. So it's card 26, and it's called the Path Clearer. And that's what I've more or less been talking about. You clearing the path for the way forward, for your future. So you're removing all of the stuff that wasn't working for you, the things that you want to stop doing, and making sure that you put in all of the gems that you want to start doing. And of course, all the stuff that you want to bring with you, the amazing stuff. And let's face it. Okay. So the Path Clearer, I'll read your question in a moment, Wendy, thank you. And Rainier. Okay, so Path Clearer. The warrior always meets the challenge of cleansing and clearing the road ahead. He removes all obstacles along the way. He has great strengths and is fearless in his pursuit. He sees your goal and will move steadfast to assist you in achieving it. He's relentless in his task and has stepped into your life's journey today. He will help with the forward movement of your life's direction and clear the path. You will now experience ease and grace on this road of opportunity. Reach out to embrace his strength and wisdom. He is able to make all changes possible. How amazing is that path clearer? It looks just so much like medieval times. I always think of King Arthur and the Round Table when I see someone like that. But I also think I always love, we will have people in our life who are maybe not so ideal. And sometimes they're very negative. And I physically put on armor when I'm going to, not physically, I mentally, physically put armor all over my body so that their comments just bounce off and they're not affected by them. And sometimes if you have someone in your life, it's a really great practice to actually do that. Okay, so that's the path clearer, which is totally amazing for what we're talking about today. So let me have a look. Rania, moving past loss of an ex-partner is hurting me. I don't know whether to move on or stay. Okay, Rania, you're the only one that you can answer that question. But before you do, how about you take some time and go and find a really, really nice spot. Grab your journal book and maybe in the sun or in some nature. Nature is so healing. And I suggest that you do a couple of loving, conscious loving breaths, I call them. Now, a conscious loving breath is where you breathe deep down into your belly. And as you are inhaling, just visualize all of the love coming into your body, all of the wisdom and all of the power that you require in order to make this choice, okay? Because you are the only one that can answer this question. Sure, I can guide you and other people can guide you, but you are the one that has the inner wisdom. You are the master you are seeking, and you are the one that knows the answer to this, okay? And it is a really it is a really deep question for you to ask. So if you do a couple of those really beautiful conscious loving breaths, where, as I said, you breathe in all of the love, all of the power, and all of the wisdom into your belly, and then hold it there for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out, exhale, all of the angst that you have around this question that you're about to start automatically writing about. And the question could be as you've written here, moving past loss of an ex-partner is hurting me. I don't know whether to move on or to stay. Okay, so that's what you could write at the top of your page. Move on or stay. You could even draw a line down the middle and you could say move on or stay. And then you can write down all of the benefits of you doing either. And there will be benefits. And of course, you will then be able to have a clearer thing on what you would like to say. Then do the list, as I said earlier, those 3 things, what you would like to apologize for. And if you're honest, there is always something you'd like to apologize for. Then what you would like to forgive. And then what you'd like to acknowledge. Now, acknowledge can be perceived negative or positive things, and you will come up with a list of both of them. So you could, on another piece of paper, draw 4 columns, which is apologize, forgive, and then acknowledge, a positive acknowledge and a negative acknowledge. And then write down your hopes, dreams, and aspirations for you, and then also for your relationship. Okay. And you may find that your hopes, dreams, and aspirations moving forward are different. And this will assist you to decide what is right for you. Now, more than happy to have a call with you. Just reach out. You can reach out. Just go to the chastoncenter.com. You can email me, Karen@karenchaston.com. It's so easy. .com.au is my email address, I should say. So yeah, I hope that's helped you, Rania. Let me know if there's any more clarity that you require around that. Okay, Wendy, you're right. Lost my mum and it took a long time to accept. But once I did the dive, it got comfortable after a reading. I miss her dearly, but I know she is pain-free. Now, isn't that beautiful? And good on you, Wendy. And she misses you too, but she is free. And she's also knows that your journey, right? Your journey was always you learning how to move on after her passing. And excuse me, something's in my throat. So it's also about you realizing that your mum's always with you and your mum doesn't want you to be sad. Now, sure, there are times where you will be sad. You know, in a couple of weeks is the 10th anniversary of my son Dan's passing. He passed on the 10th of July, 2011. But he's always around me. So, and he's the one through his passing was, even though it took me 15 months, he was the one that got me onto the journey to be doing what I'm doing now, to do the deep dives, to learn a better way to move beyond any kind of loss. So I'm very grateful to him because I really do love the person that I've become. But more importantly, I also know he's always around me. I always know he's guiding me and showing me signs. So sure, I would love to have him here. His two brothers are now fathers and, you know, have beautiful families of their own. And of course, I would have loved that for Dan because he was 27 when he passed. He hadn't even started. She had girlfriends, of course, but he hadn't even started to think about getting married or having children or anything like that at that age. So it is always sad when they leave, but it's also about you knowing that this is your journey. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And a human experience is that we have a finite life. We do not go on indefinitely. We are, you know, not going to be in this persona forever and ever and ever. We will all pass at one day. The date's been set. We just don't even know when that date is. So it's important for us to know that we make the best of what our life is. Learn the lessons, do the deep dives, figure out how we can always create that better everyday life because the best is always yet to come. No matter we've experienced the past, we can learn from the past, but dwelling in it is never ever going to give you that better everyday life. And know that she's always with you. Okay. And thank you, Wendy, for being here. Okay, Kylie. Hi. Should I do the assistant nursing course? Or... Okay, Kylie, just so it's clear, right? I'm not a mediumship. I'm not a psychic. I just help people. No, I'm not going to say just. I assist people to move beyond any kind of loss and create their better everyday life. Now, Kylie, I can give you heaps of tools for you to figure out what is best for you. I've just told Rainier how to do it. So I suggest that you follow exactly the same advice in you finding out what is best for you. You already know the answer. And it's really important for you to start to trust yourself, to start to trust the guidance that you're getting. Do you use a pendulum? You know, you've said you've done your my Akasha. I Akash. I don't know what that is, right? As I said, I've had my spiritual tools, and you're getting mixed message. Do you use a pendulum? You know, find out what your yes is, find out what your no is, find out what your maybe is, make sure you're hydrated and ask the question. I can ask the question for you. Let me see. Can I answer the question for Kylie? Okay. So yes, I've been guided. I can. I'm just going to double check I'm hydrated. I'm pretty sure I am, but am I hydrated? Okay. Yes, I am. Is it in Kylie's highest interest to do the assistant in training course? I'm getting a maybe. Um, is it in her highest interest to continue with her healing business? Yeah, like you can do both. Can Kylie do both? Yes, you can. So, it's up to you, Kylie. Oh, wow. Yeah, we've got a really big yes that you can do both. Why do you feel it's one or the other? I guess that's a question that you need to ask yourself. Why is it one or the other? You're going to, as a nurse, you're always going to heal anyway. Okay, you may not be healing and attracting clients the way you are. My question to you, Kylie, is what I've been guided to ask you is why is it just for more money is it just because it's hard to get clients? Is that a perception of yours? That's your words, not mine. Is it hard? Because I don't ever really use the word hard. I use not easy, which, when we understand our subconscious mind, we understand that it doesn't understand negative. So I don't use hard or difficult. I use not easy because that then makes it easy. Ask yourself, Kylie, why is it that you want to move away from your healing business? Yes, I use them. Thanks. That just reconfirmed what I was thinking to do both. Exactly. But make sure you have dedicated days. Don't do one or the other. You do on one day. You can be your assistant in nursing on these days. I don't know how long the course is or how much more you have to go. But what I do know, right, that whatever your training is, you will always use moving forward. Now, I'm a CPA. I have a master's degree in accounting. I was a CFO of a publicly listed company, and now I'm a beyond lost expert. But you know what? I use those skills all of the time. My passion is to take my beyond lost expert training into the corporate space because there's over 40 different loss events that affect all of our lives. We have people in every single workplace in the world who are disengaged. It's because they haven't learned how to embrace what has happened in their lives. We use avoidance tactics. We are so good at avoidance tactics. Let's face it. We've created trillion-dollar industries on avoidance. Just look at food, alcohol, drugs, anger management, working too much, drinking too much, exercising too much sex or not enough sex. They're all avoidance tactics. Shopping, we even call it retail therapy. So that's what I'm saying. Look at Netflix, look at social media. They're avoidance tactics. We are so good at avoidance. So it's important for us to understand that the reason why so many people are disengaged in the workplace is because they're in avoidance. And that's what I love to do. I love to go into businesses and help their people to find their passion again, to find their vibrancy again, so that they can come to work all joyous and happy, be productive, be more creative, be their own boss in their scenario and in charge of their workload. And believe me, once they find that passion and purpose again, they will rock up every day and be amazing. So it is important. That's what I'm saying. I'm still using my skills from the life I had prior to Dan passing to the one that I have now. So Kylie, your nursing will be used even in your healing practice, all the skills and everything like that. I hope that helps you. And I know it's helped you, but thank you. So, obviously the ego in play. Okay. Raina. Oh, good. I'm glad it really helped you. I'll grab a journal and I'll do my writing exercise. Grab a really pretty journal. I find I always, when I'm starting something new, I'll find a really pretty journal, and I will then write in that something like I've got some down here which are really, really pretty. Let me show you them because they are amazing. Everywhere you go now, they have so many beautiful journals, little different ones like this. Or look at that one. Look at the color, the essence. Color in our life really, truly does make a difference. When I was in my corporate space, I only ever wore black. I would wear red occasionally, but it'd be red or black. I would never wear, something like this. I wear color all of the time. All you got to do is just look at it, and look at this little beautiful one as well. There are so many beautiful journals out there. So take your time and invest in you, because believe me, when you open up the journal that is pretty on the outside, you truly will start to tap in to your inner beauty, to your essence. And your essence is not black and white. Your essence is very colorful and very out there. So take the time to find an amazing journal to actually start journaling in. And also, why not invest in a beautiful pen, a special pen that you just use for your journaling practice? So yeah, and let me know how you go, Raina. I'd really love to. Thanks, Wendy. Right, yes, you've used it. Okay. Christine, I'm a spiritual healing and my partners are not supportive with it. How do you have I don't care what others think way of thinking? Okay. First of all, I am going to say, why do you care? Have you done the exercise? Maybe that's something for you to journal on, Christine. Why does it really matter what anyone else thinks? Why are you stuck in the everyone has to think the same scenario? Why are you feeling that you have to convince them that the spirituality is the way? What I have found, and believe me, most of my family, they're okay now because it's been quite a few years. But when I initially left corporate and started on the journey that I'm on now, obviously my salary went down quite a fair bit, but I stuck with it because I knew it was right for me, and I knew that it was true to me. It was my path. So, do you really feel that this spirituality is the right path for you to be on? And I'm not saying it is or it isn't for you. I'm just giving you some great questions for you to start asking yourself. So why is it, do you feel it's your purpose to be, on this new road? And believe me, obviously where we are, on these spiritual different event pages and stuff like that. And look, we're all coming into the fourth dimension and eventually the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is we will have more spiritual power, not powers. We'll have more spiritual awareness. We will be deep diving more and more into ourselves. There'll be more love in the world. And, what we're going through at the moment is obviously that transition where we are moving more from the masculine into the feminine, more from the let dog eat dog into the more collaboration, more loving energy. And look, people will come to their own understanding. And what I have found is the more that you walk and talk the way that you believe and your inner knowing, the more that things will come to you in the essence of how you was. And I'm not talking about just financial things. I'm talking about more love will come to you. You will start to attract more people who are of a similar belief system as your own. And I'm not telling you to leave them behind, but what I would highly suggest is that you stop trying to convince them of the way that you would like them to think and move forward. Walk your path and continue to walk your path, and don't get sucked into the density, into the conversations. Just say, that's fine. If that's what you want to believe, this is what I believe and this is the way I'm forward. But the more that you walk your talk, the more people will start looking at you and going, wow, what's changed? What's happened? Because for me, believe me, I am such a nicer person today than who I used to be. And it's in all of my relationships. All of my relationships are really, really important for me. Whereas before they were, yeah, have them, don't, sort of thing. But now, and the reason why they're so important is because I've got a better relationship with myself. And that's where it really does start. And that's why I created the program, obviously, that you joined up to last week, Christine, the Revitalize Your Revitalize Your Life. It's because it's about you doing the deep dive into you, because you need to figure out what really matters in your life. Because until you really know what matters in your life, and it's not your life with your partner or with your kids or, with your colleagues or your peers or your bosses or whoever in your life, it's about what matters to you. Because as I keep saying, you are the only person you're going to spend your entire life with. So it's really important that you figure out what matters to you. Because when you figure out what matters to you, then you can figure out the relationships that you'd like to have. You can figure out the job that you like to have. You can figure out the, wealth and the creation and all of those things that you can then bring into your life, because you know who you are, you know where you're going, and you know how you're going to get there. But most people don't take the time to sit back and actually say, well, what does success mean to me? Not overall, but also in every single area of your life. And in the Chaston Center model, there are 12 areas of your life that we deep dive into so that you can figure out what really matters to you. I hope that helps, Christine. And thanks, Kerry. Hi, nice to see you here. Yeah, Kerry was one of the first adopters of the Revitalize Your Life course. So for anyone who hasn't seen the course, here's a link that you can check out. I'll just hit enter on that. Here's a link to the Revitalize Your Life course, and it is over 45 days. You will get daily activities that assist you to figure out what matters to you. And, we deep dive into all different sort of topics, which is great. It takes roughly 45 minutes a day, if that, on some days. But more importantly, I have purposely brought the course down to $1 a day. That's right. In total, $45 Australian. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted everyone to start to realize what matters to me, because it's really it's really important for you to know where you sit in your life. And we have a lot of women on here. I know we have some men as well, but a lot of women, we put ourselves last for way too long. And then we get into, our late 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond, and we wonder why we are not fulfilled in our life. Our life isn't joyous, and we've got a lot of regrets in our lives, and we've got a lot of, relationships that aren't so ideal. So that's what this course is all about. It's about helping you to get back on path, back on your right path. Like I said, today we drew the Path Clearer card. And I can honestly say I draw the cards. I don't sit there and go, okay, I'll have this card for today. I let the universe decide what's the best card for us. And it is about you learning how to be the path clearer in your life. Sure, we have guides and we have assistants on the, on the other side to assist us with doing it. But it's also about us taking action. And the more action you take, the easier your life becomes. So, Christine, the only advice that I can really give to you, and it's not a don't care about what they think, but it's about start to really embrace what you believe and the life that you want to live and walk that path. in every single moment of your day and embrace it into every single cell in your body. And, I've seen so many different numbers of how many cells in your body, but do you know what? I like the 70 trillion cells in our body. Don't know why. I heard it from a guy, I guess, who I really resonated with. And I really do encourage you to embrace your spirituality, the way that you want to, live the rest of your life. And it is a knowing, spirituality is just knowing. And I think, you have it. And a lot of the times we shove it down because we do care about what other people think. But eventually we get to a stage where we really are, you can have your belief and I will have mine, and let's agree to disagree. There's no need for us to say one's right, one's wrong, because neither are right or wrong. It's what's right for you. And it's about embracing what's right for you and allowing everyone else to embrace what's right for them. Imagine our world. Like if everyone had that attitude. I appreciate what's right for you and I appreciate what's right for me. And let's just not worry about the fact that, it may be right or wrong. It's not. It's what they are both right. And imagine our world. There would be no wars. It would be just respect. Respect for what you believe is fine. And what I believe is fine. We don't need to go and fight wars over them. Oh my God, how many wars in history have been fought over a different religious belief? It's just about, no, this is right for me and right for you. Okay, I'll move on from that. Oh my God, Rainier, thank you. I'm so glad that you've signed up for it. I'd love to know your opinion. Each week I always ask people, so it's on today's call, that's 3 of us that having, obviously I created the course, and I have to tell you, I had so much fun creating it. Originally it was going to be 36 days, but I just kept being guided for more and more and more. And that's how it ended up at 45 days. And that's the best thing about it, is that I just went with my inner guidance. And I, really love to hear your feedback. Now, I take feedback as feedback. It's never negative or positive. It's just your perception. And I would love to hear it, because I know that I'm on a continual journey of improvement. I created this, 6 months ago now, probably even a little bit longer. I started it. So I'm always open to more insights into how I could improve it or different ways of doing it and stuff like that. Because like most things in life, when you look at them, you can go, I do that differently now. I read some of my old books and I go, wow, I wouldn't put that in my new book now. I would change it. And of course, we're always continually growing. We also don't know what we don't know. There's heaps that we don't know in the world. And when we learn new things, we change new things. Great, Rainier. I really do look forward to your insights into how, what you get to learn about yourself during the next 45 days, which is 6 weeks, obviously. Which is another reason, 6 weeks is a really good insights in for you to start to create more habits and start to learn new things about yourself. So that's amazing. So we're coming to the end of another episode, which is always amazing. So thank you, everyone. But I'd like to just sort of, are there any questions? Are there anything else that I can help you with today? Because that's what I'm here for every Monday. Is sure, I pick a theme, but we go wherever with the theme. And I'd love for anyone else to ask a question, or otherwise we will just say goodbye for today. But obviously I'll wait. So what else can I talk about? Another question is, do you have a pendulum? Like, obviously Kylie said she uses a pendulum. Does anyone else use a pendulum? Because what I have found is It's a great way to get some inner guidance from yourself, because you're literally talking to your subconscious, and your subconscious not only remembers every single millisecond of every single day of your life, but it also remembers all of your past lives as well, which is amazing, which is fabulous, because it knows where you've been, it knows where you're going, and it also has your highest interest at heart. It can't lie to you. It will give you the answer, sometimes maybe the answer that you do not want to hear, but it's really good. And good on you, Rainier. It's great to see that you use one. So it's really ideal for people to start asking yourself the questions. It's great to have me here helping you with some guidance. And I'm not saying don't turn up. Believe me, I'm saying please keep turning up. But what I am saying is start to tap into your inner wisdom, because you truly are the master that you are seeking. And the more that you tap into that, not only will you raise your vibration, you will also start to find the answers for you, which will put you onto your right path, the path that we've been clearing today for you, the path that is ideal for you for the rest of your life. Because you really do want to go onto the next realm, not in a hurry, but when you do go onto the next realm, you really do want to make sure that you have no regrets from this life, that you've actually completed your lessons that you came here to complete. And that's what life is all about. That's why you're here, to grow spiritually. We're all spiritual beings having an earthly experience. And the reason why we choose Earth over other places in the universe is because of the duality. And the duality and the density is what causes all of these challenges to come up for us. And sometimes we get so stuck in the challenges that we do find it really hard to move on. And that's why we choose Earth, for that reason. But it's also important for you to understand that when you have that awareness that they are challenges, that there are a lesson in them, there are a gift in every single one of them, it really does become less on you. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I love to break down words. And I love the word lesson, because there is a lesson in every, good or perceived bad time. And the sooner that you look for that lesson and grab that lesson, it's the less on you. So, our language guides us on how to ideally live and love our lives. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to go now. So good luck. And hopefully I'll see you here again next week. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone who decides to, take the 45-day journey on revitalizing your life. I am sure that what the awareness and the perspective that you will gain over those 45 days is far, far beyond anything that you will ever gain in your life. And that's why, as I said, I've purposely made it $1 a day, so more people can come to that awareness and perspective that is right for you. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to sharing more information next Monday at noon, Australian Eastern Standard Time.